boy. I'm a good boy. Such a good boy. I'm a good boy. Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
Yo, what up? It's Amaj back in another video. Today we're about to be getting into a video by 4D Shams, and it's gonna be on the Vaping Crisis. Man, vaping has really been getting bad, especially with teenagers, bro. Oh my gosh, you see countless videos on TikTok of people passing like a damn vape around, and you just wondering where did they get that from? You never know if it might be somebody older buying them that dumb shit. But let's get into the video.
Boy, I'm a good boy. Such a good boy. I'm a good boy.
Vaping has officially gone to...
Okay, that's like a crazy clip to start the video off with. Why are you literally getting on your knees and trying to suck a vape? That's especially by your friend's penis, basically. Oh God, I can't help it with this damn generation. I hate being a part of it.
Because someone please explain to me what possesses you to get on your knees and act like you're sucking your friends off just to hit a vape, all while on camera. You know, people will swear up and down that they're not addicted to these less potent drugs like weed or vape, but you take those drugs away from them for a short while and all of a sudden they don't know how to act. They're all manic. I've literally seen people lose.
I'm sorry, it's different for me. I indulge in smoke weed, and I can stop whenever I want. That's like one of my superpowers that I like, nigga. I can, get off of it real quick and just like have some, weed packed up for a couple of well, probably like at least a month or two. And I know some people are smokers are probably going to tell me, bro, you're not smoking that weed. I was like, no, because I don't smoke that much and I can stop whenever I want. I don't need weed every day to survive.
Their vape, and the way they get so frantic, you would have thought they lost their $1 billion lottery ticket.
Motherfucker, where
Lost
is it?
their vape.
Where the is it? I swear to God.
They're literally shaking a couch upside down. Me yesterday. This is actually really relatable. It be getting to that point. No, because same. No, but I get it. It's always this serious for me. Going literally anywhere without your vape. She's running. The out of breath that quick was so real. Relating on being unhealthy at a young age is just insane. And if you really want to get an idea of just how serious and harmful the vaping
I'm not gonna lie, I hope that shit's a joke because cringy ass people on TikTok are always pulling that shit.
crisis is, just go to Facebook and type in kids vaping. You'll literally see a bunch of parents posting their kids who fell victim to vapes. They're trying to use their kids as a cautionary tale for other parents. Teenage boy's lungs collapse after vaping 4 disposables a week for 3 years. The kid is 17. Stop vaping, y'all. My son had to go to the hospital today because he was coughing up blood and had severe chest pain. Brief intermission, y'all. I'm here with an opportunity for y'all to make money doing something you probably already do. Play games on your phone. And lifelong effects after being pressured by school bullies to vape a pen laced with fentanyl and marijuana. And it's crazy because on platforms like TikTok or Instagram, you'll see young people promoting or poking fun at drug use. But on Facebook, where you have actual parents, all you see is these devastating pictures and stories. My first vape, 9+ months old. Yeah, we're officially cooked. We're so cooked. You know, I always thought that since we're the generation who grew up with like a bunch of TV shows and movies where you had these characters who had bright futures, who get introduced to drugs, and you know, their whole life will end up getting derailed because they turn into crackheads. Or you know, those...
Oh my gosh, bro. I was so mad at the outcome of Snowfall, but then I realized like it probably needed to be like that because in hindsight, you're not gonna be on the top of the world that long, so you had to have some planning ahead, and you just never know what type of drugs or alcohol could just like, fuck up your whole life. But I still kind of understand it and I don't understand it. I wish they didn't have that ending for Franklin.
cautionary tale smoking commercials like the lady who had a hole in her throat and had a really raspy voice.
I'm married, and I used to be a smoker. I want to give you some tips about getting ready in the morning. Learn your name. Then your hand read the Bible. And now you're ready for the day. I was a cheerleader. I was a homecoming for it. they smell it. You see teenagers smoking. Because I started smoking when I was a teenager.
I thought that since we all grew up watching these things, that we
This shit as a kid used to scare the fuck out of me. Although I didn't listen, but I don't smoke nicotine and I don't smoke cigarettes and I don't indulge in all that other shit. I primarily just smoke weed, but like at an even pace. I don't do it a lot.
all came to an understanding, a consensus, that we're not gonna go down the same path. We're not gonna make the same obvious mistakes. But I guess common sense isn't so common. And the sad part is, these kids fell to the same perpetrator that their parents and their grandparents probably fell to. Big tobacco. The smoking industry has pulled off one of the biggest rebrands in modern history. Just because it's shaped like a USB stick and it comes in neon colors and has all these fruity flavors like mango, pineapple, peach, doesn't mean it's any better than that smelly cigarette. Although cigarettes have more toxins and higher cancer risk, vapes have higher nicotine exposure. And another aspect is that cigarettes have a natural stopping point. You finish one and then you pause. Now, of course, you might pull out another cigarette, but at least that's another deterrent to prevent more smoking. But with a vape, you can just continually inhale. And although vapes are just as bad and sometimes even worse than cigarettes, part of the reason why they had such great PR, especially when they first hit the scene, is because they weren't sold like drugs. They were more sold like tech products. They got a sleek design, minimalist branding, flavors that sound like smoothies, not substance.
Now I'm not gonna lie, all these things where you think about like vapes, they just rebranded it toward just like kind of sounding all good and tasteful. They said, "Oh, you can taste strawberry kiwi in your mouth." Sounds crazy, but like that rebrand is crazy. All you gotta do is have some colorful type of shit on like a little poster.
I mean, who wouldn't want to try mango peach or some other fruity tropical flavor that sounds like your favorite juice? And you see, vapes entered the world under the guise of being the smoking alternative. It wasn't seen as a vice. And because vapes have less toxins, if someone saw you vaping, they'd think, oh, at least they're not using a cigarette. But see, the tricky part came into play, and I'm sure this is all by design, when vapes went from being viewed as less harmful to not harmful at all. And I mean, it's not hard to see how these big corporations can make this possible. Once upon a time, even doctors were promoting cigarettes.
You know, if you were to follow a busy doctor as he makes his daily round of calls, you'd find yourself having a mighty busy time keeping up with him. Time out for many men of medicine usually means just long enough to enjoy a cigarette. And because they know what a pleasure it is to smoke a mild, good-tasting cigarette, they're particular about the brand they choose. In a repeated national survey, doctors in all branches of medicine, doctors in all parts of the country were asked, "What cigarette do you smoke, doctor?" Once again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this repeated nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Why not change to Camels for the next 30 days and see what a difference it makes in your smoking enjoyment?
And what adults and young people really need to understand
It is so fucking crazy how things were just promoted back in the 1950s. It really just proves that like the way technology and the way like shit advanced and the way more people learned about shit, thank God, because today would be so different, bro. Promoting cigarettes in the big 1950 was probably like their whole like brainwashing thing.
is that these big corporations are super deceptive. They don't follow any moral guideline. They'll use misleading language to dumb down the severity of vaping, or make flavors and use branding that matches your favorite candy, or make things like smart vape phones. I mean, these things literally come with a touchscreen, the ability to call
Nigga, what the fuck? I saw like screens on like vapes before, but I didn't know these niggas actually turned that shit into like a phone or something. Man, imagine using your technology in your brain to make a vape that's a phone. You just call and then wait. Imagine calling somebody up on the phone. It's like, where are you calling from? Oh, I'm calling from my vape. Like, bro, This shit's getting ridiculous.
Call, text, and receive social notifications, games, phone locator, camera control, battery, and I mean, it's pretty obvious to see who they're appealing to. They know just how addicted young people are to their phones. They really said, let's just use the pre-existing addiction they already have to phones and just alley-oop, introduce a new addiction in there. Using one addiction to introduce a new addiction is just diabolical work. But you know what? Since you're already here, why don't I try to de-influence you and give you some vaping stats? Did you know that one vaping pod can contain as much nicotine as 1 to 2 packs of cigarettes?
Damn.
Did you know that some daily vapers consume more nicotine than a pack a day smokers? Did you know that more than 25% of high school students have tried vaping? Did you know that nicotine exposure during adolescence can increase the risk of anxiety, depression, and attention disorders? Honestly, drug use is always going to be a losing game. Instead of facing and working through your problems head on, thinking you can resort to a drug as a stress reliever is only a detriment to yourself. You can't be trying to smoke and drink away all the pain and stress. Sometimes you really gotta just feel it. You gotta experience that pain because it builds character. And for anyone who feels like they're currently addicted to any sort of drug, I hope this next clip helps.
I was addicted to vaping nicotine for 3 years, and I had a really tough time quitting. And I was able to quit 4 years ago on this day because I employed 3 simple strategies, and I want to talk to those in this video, and I think they're applicable to any addiction that you might be struggling with. The first strategy is removing myself from the situation. My biggest triggers were when I would go to the bars, when I would be drinking alcohol, and when I would be around other people that would be vaping. It was the hardest to quit in those situations. So I decided that I would quit the winter break of my sophomore year of college, because I was at home and I was out of all of those situations. The second strategy that I employed is that you need to replace your dopamine.
I got an insane amount of dopamine from vaping, and I needed to get some sort of dopamine. So instead of vaping, I got really into fitness and focusing on my nutrition and focusing on going to the gym every single day. And that winter break, I was literally in the gym.
I'm not gonna lie, bro, getting into the gym, getting into like other things really kind of distract you from it. Like I said, I don't have an addiction to weed, but like when I get exercising, when I get, in that zone, you put those earphones on in the gym, you go on a steady pace without even thinking about that shit. And probably like not even like, people that vape too could probably get into that shit and it will really help. But like I said, he's spitting facts in his video. And I think I just spit right now. But he's spitting facts in his video. Shit like this really fucking helps. Going to the gym really changes your perspective on every little thing. I know that's like everything everybody be telling you, like, after a breakup, you gotta try to, do something about that. But nigga, it really helps. Gym really works.
Every single day, and getting dopamine from that, my app.
Getting potentially
Year-old MPS student forced to vape inside a school bathroom.
They were alerted to the video on March 3rd.
If you're a grown-up, exercise your free will. If you're an older kid and vaping is what you choose to do, that's on you. But please do not give it to babies, bro. That is not a joking matter. Babies and little kids are a lot more fragile than you. I don't want to have to read about some baby passing away from being forced to vape.
Bro, that shit is crazy. They actually had a vape around a kid. Bro, I don't even know what to fucking think about this world anymore. Like, irresponsible parents will always be irresponsible parents no matter what era. Like, I know a lot of old heads be talking about Gen Z being irresponsible. You guys had some unresponsible people in y'all age too. The 80s and the 90s were not all good, and the early 2000s were not all good, but the vaping shit needs to fucking stop, bro. I mean, it probably one step you probably have to do, just be a parent and tell them like the negative effects, or just wait till it's just too late. I don't know why people just don't have a talk with their kid, but I'm not a parent and I probably don't know how that can help though. But hey, if you guys want to see more reactions, I'm Amaje and we on the road to 250. Catch you guys in the next video.